Hi. So yeah, we're back on the bed again because I have another book haul, and I am just going to blame it all on Waterstones because I need someone else to take responsibility for my own actions. I can't do that when I'm an adult. I mean, not if you're gonna believe YouTube and TikTok. Anywho, yeah, I kind of well, listen. Waterstone has this fantastic point system, right? A classic one, right? Excuse me. So every time that you spend, I think it's 10 point. No, wait, 10 points. 10 pounds. If you spend 10 pounds, no. I have no idea how it works. Well, basically, you spend money, you get points. And when you get points at a certain point, you get 10 quid back or 10 pounds. Which is fantastic. I mean, it's the prime thingamajig and it doesn't hurt to sign up to it, so I did. I've been using that for like years. Got an email the other day, a while ago, and unfortunately they are deciding to well, they're not quitting the service, it's just that they're changing the terms basically. So when you're international like myself, I'm Icelandic, I live in Iceland. As far as I understand it, I can still like accrue the points and get the things on like my card, but I can't use the points for international orders anymore. I have to either be shipping to a UK address or be in store using the accrued points. So honestly, it's a meh. It's really helpful when you're like placing orders to have that extra money to like use, but anyway, they got me, and I definitely ordered a little bit of the books that I've been eyeing, because honestly, no matter how many books you have, you always go the next one and the next one. 3 isn't bad. A cute little one isn't bad. And a big 10-kilo one is fantastic because, listen, last book haul, and for several times, honestly, several times. No wait, last book haul. I just woke up, so sorry. But I think I mentioned last time because I remember that annoyed me a little bit. I placed a single order and it arrived in like 80 packages. And that was annoying because I have to pay for every single package that I get. I have to pay for the internal shipping and handling and documentation and import duties and this and that. So this is better. So we're gonna save the biggest one for last because it's definitely the most fun one. And start with this little cutie. The best. Oh, okay. Listen, I could not have planned this better. This is a pre-order. I saw this obviously on Waterstones. I've seen quite a few people talk about this. I believe it's a standalone, which is why I really liked the idea of it. So I got it. I finally have Tress. And I thought, oh, actually, if I remember correctly, it did ship earlier than it was meant to. So I'm happy with that. Am I actually filming? Yes, I am. Next one. Well, listen, this is a little funny, but it's Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money. And the irony of me buying this book, along with a lot of other books, I'm aware of it, which is probably why I bought the book to begin with. Because, you know, financial knowledge and intelligence is something that, like any other thing and any other muscle, needs to be exercised constantly. And is definitely something that I could definitely do with thinking about these. This one is thick. What are you? Ooh. Oh yeah. So one good thing about Waterstones doing this thingamajig of theirs is that I actually went into my wish list and picked out books that I've been eyeing for a while, but have been just not, getting. Fondalise, Jade Ward. Now, obviously, I think this is the second book. There's Jade City and then Jade Legacy. They're in here. I got the entire trilogy. Have I read it? No. Did I want it? Yes, because I've seen. When I see that many people talk about the same thing and just speaking of it positively, I mean, that's kind of a nice clue that, that it might be something that. Oh, how clever! Okay, listen. I work retail. I know what this is. Instead of getting extra packaging, they have taken the backing from stickers. Like when you put in stickers on everything. This is the plastic backing that comes with it, and they have used it to be clever. I like it. Reuse, recycle. Yes, because this is going into my recycling. Listen, I need to show you this. Look how beautiful that has been packaged. Look at him. Listen, I kind of don't want to. This is so pretty. Listen, I am easily amused, but this is by far the prettiest packaging, or prettiest way that I've seen books packaged in a long while. And the fact that they were reusing extra material, hands up. Where do you come from? Burton-on-Trent. Burton-on-Trent. You get +10. You get +10. That is so cool. And also, like you can see, my reading taste is very, very varied. Let's start with the biggest one. So I still haven't read The Priory of the Orange Tree because C is big and kind of terrifies me, which probably tells you quite a bit about me, that I buy the sequel or the prequel or companion book that is just as big and terrifying. Oh. But yeah, this is by Samantha Shannon, and the cover is gorgeous. And then we have Cynthia Murphy's Signed, Sealed, Dead. Moving can be murder. Oh dear. Let me just look at the back blurb. Honestly, this was on the discount. I think they're called purple paperbacks, yeah. And I basically just bought it because of the title, because I'm like, that's cool. Really didn't read the back of it, but I'm like, whatever, I'm gonna read it. And Rob Burleys, why is this lying bastard lying to me? Honestly, the title again, searching for the truth on political TV. Extremely British. I mean, I think most of us can even identify this chap, this specimen here, because of the hair. Well, that's a classic lady over there. Am I very invested in British politics? No. Do British politics matter to Iceland? Yes, as a matter of fact, they do. Historically and profoundly and locally, like literally. But I also have two Brits who live in my town, who have been living here for like 20-30 years. And I am always on the hunt for something interesting. that I can have some informed conversation with them about. So I'm hoping that this book, and I believe at least another one, somewhere in my piles, will be interesting enough that it might be some that they might want to borrow. I don't know. I live in hope. Italo Calvino's If on a Winter Night a Traveler. I've heard about this book for years. This story. I've never read it. It's famous for being written in the second person, and I don't think I've ever read any of those. Definitely not a full novel. No, wait, it's not. Anyway, I will be reading it at some point, and I will figure out what in the world people have been talking about for years. Oh yeah. Then we have Lars Kepler's The Spider. Can a cat a killer, or are you already in the web? Why did I buy this? Oh yeah. Because it's a murder mystery and there's a lot of spider themes. Heads up, when I was a child and teenager, I had arachnophobia. I don't suffer from it anymore, thankfully. Took me a little bit of work to do that. But spiders are very interesting, and the fact that how they are used as tropes, as what's the word I'm looking for? Narrative subtext, what they are used to stand for. It is interesting, and also the fact that this is a murder mystery where people keep getting murdered. Oh god, and the lettering is tiny. What is with the tiny lettering? No, I'm getting older. Sea and Her Cat, the Japanese bestseller. Makoto Shinkai and Naruki Nagakawa. Translated by Ginny Tabley Takimori. So, it's a cat. It has a cat on cover. I just fall for it. I have no idea what it's about. It's probably about a woman and a cat. That's all I need to know. Another Japanese book featuring a cat. Hiro Arakawa's The Goodbye Cat. Look how pretty. Oh, also the texture on the cover is nice. Ooh. And because of I saw YouTube shorts. Honestly, they've become the bane of my existence. But there's a movie that people are divided about, which is good. If they weren't divided about it because content creation. But basically it's a book. No, it's a Netflix film called Damsel. But it was originally a book. So, of course, I see Damsel. Looks interesting. There's a princess, betrayed, and a dragon. And it really, really looks cool. Do you know how it ends? Yes, because I watched the YouTube search and then decided, you know what? I'm gonna find out if there's a book. There's a book. I got the book. And I am honestly really interested in reading it. It's by Evelyn Skye. Mind you, I am not the biggest fan of like these type of things. And I have to agree with other people. I'm not the biggest fan of seeing real people on the cover of books. But you know, Millie Bobby Brown is not the worst person to have glaring at you from the cover of a book. So, because it's her, it's okay. Margaret Atwood, Old Babes in the Wood. Because it's Margaret Atwood, I've had it in my wish list for an embarrassingly long amount of time. So it's a collection of short stories, and that's about all I know about it. And the last book in this box, it's Constanza Casati's Clytemnestra, Mother Murder Magnificent. There's also been a thing on YouTube about people talking about other people rewriting Greek mythology. Valid. There's a lot of retellings of Greek mythology. There's also, what I really like is that there's a lot of retellings from the feminine perspective, from the perspective of the ignored women, who are often the antagonists, the major villains. And I like it. I like hearing from the woman. And for some reason, some people see it as an insult or something terrible to be worried about. And I'm like, if that's the extent of your worries, then your life is really, really good. Anywho, so now we're onto the box. Ooh. Does anyone else feel, I'm not gonna say embarrassed, but a little bad about throwing these away? Because honestly, it's such good paper. It's really good paper. What? Like for drawing, and they're so lovely. But it's so well packaged, like goodness. And they put over where it's from, so I can't tell you which Waterstones did the packaging. But yeah, so here is Jade Legacy, their book, and here's Jade City. So got all three together. And one of these days I am going to be reading the Green Bone Saga. Bones. Ooh. Personal fun trend. Another 10 points. So, I got the updated version of Melanie Brown's Brutally Honest autobiography. So, Melanie Brown, Mel B from the Spice Girls. I was a Spice Girl fangirl back in the day. I always get a smile on my face when I think about them, because they were such a fun band with such a lot of fun songs. They were just a big part of the culture of being a teenage girl back in the 90s. Honestly, really hadn't heard anything about Mel B for years until recently, when I saw a part of a video, some kind of interview or some kind of conversation with her. And I was kind of shocked. There's a lot of things that I didn't know about. But she honestly is an even stronger person, and I look up to her even more because she's a domestic abuse survivor, and she's talking about it, and she's apparently helping others. So she got a lot better. Oh, I'm almost crying. Listen, I'm gonna yeah, we're gonna talk about that when I actually read the book. Speaking of, this isn't gonna look any better. I got Patty McCracken's The Angel Makers, the true story of the most astonishing murdering in history. This happened in Hungary. I went on a little bit of a true crime spree. Like literal books about true crime. For some reason, I got a mood, and then I wanted the books. But this, 1929, in Hungary, small farming village. For 15 years, a group of women had been poisoning people. Speaking of poison, we got here A Taste for Poison by Neil Bradbury. 11 deadly substances and the killers who use them. It's just a honestly kind of cheery cover. Like when you just ignore this and just look at the font and it speaks cheery. The deadly origins of the gin and tonic cocktail. I didn't know it had a deadly origin. And the arsenic-laced wallpaper in Napoleon's bedroom because the CIA was not the first. They were not the first. Why do I keep saying we? Because I want to include you. David Wilson's Murder at Home. Look at the design of that cover. I am loving it. But yeah, this is about tragic prevalence of domestic murder and how for so many victims their own home is a place they are most in danger. Yeah, most of these books are here, but there are a few that are still to arrive, so they are not going to be included in this book haul because I feel like this is a little too much even right now. But here is Hallie Rubenholtz, The Untold Lives of the Woman Killed by Jack the Ripper. And I'm so happy about finding this book because, first off, the design of it, fantastic, but also the fact that the women who were murdered, the ones who lost their lives, they just became footnotes. They were always, when you read about the story, they're just, the prostitutes he killed. But they weren't. They were much more than that. And they were probably not even prostitutes, okay? I'm going on a rant. But, especially at that time, when poor people had nowhere else to go, they were out of job, they had bills to pay, they had mouths to feed, they had to survive. For women, way too often, selling their own bodies was the only thing that they could do. The fact that this is the only thing that they are remembered for, not because of the lives that they led, not the people that they were, but because of this one thing that society at the time forced them into. Just know. So I'm very happy about finding this book because their names need to be remembered. Their names were Polly, Annie, Elizabeth, Catherine, and Mary Jane. Those were their names. Wow. Okay. Goodness. Eric Rocca. Things have gotten worse since we last spoke and other misfortunes. I've seen people talk about this book and I've been curious about it, but am I the biggest fan of horror? No. Am I still gonna read it? Yes. Oh, yeah, another one. I've actually been hearing about this for years. It's Cassandra Carr's Nothing But Blackened Teeth. It's a horror novella. Should be a quick read, should be interesting. Yee. Joanna Wallace's You'd Look Better as a Ghost. I have a gift. I see people as ghosts before they die. Of course, it helps that I'm the one killing them. So it's from the point of view of a woman serial killer. I mean, there is a tonal difference. There's a huge tonal difference. Speaking of tonal difference, Heather Fawcett's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I have heard mixed reviews, which is good, because if too many people agree on the same thing, then I distrust it. But also, I heard that this takes part in Norway. And I'm like, well, if you go to Norway, then you definitely need to be having proper fairies. The ones that are not nice. Because Nordic folklore about the trolls and hultefolk, no wait, that's Icelandic, hultekvinnen, they're not nice. Nordic fairies and other folks, not nice. And I'm blaming this one on Gavin from Gavin Reads It All. Akimitsu Takaki, the Tattoo Murder, because I was watching his video when he was going book shopping and he picked it up and I'm like, oh, I want to read it. Because obviously, the one thing that you should gather from this is that I am easily impressionable. No matter how old I get. Yes. John Gwynne's The Hunger of the Gods. I have The Shadow of the Gods, and this is second book. There's one more book that has yet to come out, and is Norse inspired. So this is definitely Fenrir here on the cover, because of course you would have the big bad dog of the Nordic mythology. We have Matthew Green's A Journey Through Lost Britain, Shadowlands. This is a forgotten history of Britain's lost cities, ghost towns and vanished villages are Shadowlands. Drowned, buried by sand, decimated by plague, plunged off a cliff. Honestly, if you're interested in like the UK as a whole, or you know, just Britain, their history, also because it's millennia of history. Just yes, oh, beautiful, beautiful. So Elizabeth Lim. 6 Crimson Cranes and the Dragon's Promise. Look how beautiful those covers are. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. 6 Crimson Cranes. 6 Crimson Cranes is first, and then the Dragon's Promise. And gorgeous. I've got 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Heaven's Officials Blessings. I got 1, 2, and 3 already. I also got the 4th of the Scum Villain Self-Saving System. And I can't remember if Heaven's Official Blessing has 8 or 9 books. We'll see. But yeah, light novels. I still have to start reading them. But I have this thing about getting the whole set before I start reading, because I like to have a set goal. More cats. Story art by Pandania, The Evil Secret Society of Cats, Volume 1. Listen, that is just too cute. It's too cute. Again, I saw this on Gavin's vlog, and just it's cat and I love him. Another thing that I'm gonna blame on Gavin, because I love him and he has a lot of influence on the books. Clearly, I am easily influenced by him. But I got Amandos, I have no idea how to pronounce it, Obnoxious Hero Coon, the complete collection. So, it's a yaoi, male love, boys love webcomic tale of Hiro and Takashi's hilarious relationship, uncensored, and collected entirely in print for the first time. I'm an adult, I can handle it. And the last book, which is a duology, the second book is coming out in sometime. It's the Korean #1 bestseller by Mai Lee. Translated by Sandy Yushun Lee. Dollar Good Dream Department Store. The dream you ordered is sold out. I think it's supposed to. I think it's a duology. It sounds interesting. It's a department store that deals with dreams and people and who have things to do with it and things. So yeah, obviously I will be talking about that whenever I read the books. So yeah, those are all the books that I got. How many did I get? It's not too bad. It's only 38. Also, one book that I was gifted just the other day is Anne Curthoys and Anna McGrath's How to Write History That People Want to Read. My brother picked this up secondhand because he knows I love books, I love reading, and I love writing. So I've never thought about how to write history, but maybe that's something that I could benefit from. But yeah, again, blame Waterstones because I need someone else to take responsibility for me. But that is the damage that I have done. Those are the 38 books that I got. And I feel so good about having them. But yeah, until next time, I will hopefully see you in some other video of mine. And until then, take care and bless.